That doesn't suit her, that hair.
She's an actor. Like actors,
Yeah, no, that's
you
true.
were in love with the character, not the actor.
Okay, maybe. And I didn't know that. I thought that was a real story, actually, the Trojan horse.
No.
In Troy. I
It's
only
myth,
found
yeah.
out last night from him that was a myth.
Like there definitely was a war in Troy back in like however many years ago. His face, like going through all the emotions, that was hard to watch.
It was like an exorcism.
You couldn't even hear. No, you just heard like a white noise nearly, and you just see his face going through and what he says.
Actress, I think she's monopolizing all the women's roles. That's what I think. I think she's taken all the roles, and some of them should be given to more up and coming actresses. That why was she's in fucking everything? There was no need for her to be a teen.
I actually kind
out
of
there.
disagree with that.
Yeah.
I was saying to you last night about it, how like one more time, she's like, "No, you can't
You
leave.
can't die.
You can't leave me now." And he goes, "No, we're going away.
We're jetting off,
for your
babe."
body."
Like, I didn't want to be too knee jerk with it and be like, "This is the best movie I've ever seen." But okay, so Sean, we just seen the Odyssey last night.
Still reeling from it.
It was unbelievable. I can't believe how good it was. I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was so happy at the end of it. What did you think?
Like, first of all, I was going to say words can't describe. We're on a podcast. We got to talk about it.
Yeah, I know. They have to be pretty wise words as well.
Like, I've been so hyped for like all week, but I was out last week with the lads and they were saying that like, just don't get your hopes up too much because what if it lets you down? Because when you go so high with the hype, you're like, oh no, this is not going to be the one. And even like, there's so much story to tell. I think he just encapsulated everything perfectly into a 3-hour movie. He just hit every mark, I think.
Yeah, of course, the Odyssey by Homer. It's a 2,000-year-old script.
It's like, I think the audiobook is 13 hours long.
13 hours
so
long.
that means you have to take out 10 hours of dialogue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
you
crazy.
Were telling me that, all right. Because Sean, you actually went in with some knowledge of the Odyssey.
Yeah, like I did a few excerpts. I read a few excerpts in college and the classic studies.
Yes.
But it was actually kind of fun having the idea, knowing what's coming next.
Yes.
But the way he told the story was kind of different. Well, he kept it true, in my opinion, to the story, but he kind of changed bits that made more sense for the big screen. If that makes more sense.
Yeah, I get you. He did the right thing with them,
I think
though.
so as well, because you said, like, you made a good point last night, like a picture paints 1,000 or says more than 1,000 words. So there were some scenes where, like, in the book, there'd be like really heavy dialogue describing something, but just the way you shot the camera, it just showed more, it just made it more impactful on the big screen, I think.
And of course, you know, with things like a book, they have to describe the setting.
Yeah.
They have to describe this person walks over, puts their hand on the table. They have to describe these small things that we can just see, so that it does make it quicker. But you think he did it perfectly, getting that 13-hour story or whatever it is into a 3-hour condensed film. An unbelievable 21st century version of a 2,000-year-old script.
Yeah.
For our eyes, it's the same story. It's the same characters.
It hit every single part of the story that like it discovers, or like he goes on his journey towards Ithaca. Like he went to all them places. Obviously, some parts were missing out. Like people are giving out about the Polyphemus scene, you know, the Cyclops scene.
Yeah, the Cyclops. So, I didn't know what the Cyclops was. The Cyclops is the big thing with the
eye in the head. He's a big giant.
Yeah,
but in the book, he like obviously the whole thing happens with the cheese on the wall, all that shit. His herd of sheep, all this. You know, like he first came in with cheese. It's fucking weird.
Oh, was
Do you remember that? Yeah, it was like bags of cheese.
Yes, yeah. It's kind of hard to notice that things when you first watch it, but it was bags of cheese. Okay.
But there's one part in the book that I think is really cool, but he left it out, I think intentionally, to be honest. Like people are saying like, oh, he should have said this like scene that's so amazing. It's basically one night, like they're trapped in the cave with the Cyclops and they get him drunk off wine. Like they just kind of convince him to have some wine.
Yeah.
And they're drinking, having a jolly time. And then he's like, oh, what's your name, sir? To Odysseus. I was like, oh, my name's Nothing. He's like, oh, nice to meet you, Nothing, whatever. So he goes to bed that night and sleeps. And then you know the scene with the spear into the eye?
Yes.
That's in the book.
The book.
So they stab him in the neck, he opens his eye, hot spear into the eye, and he's like screaming, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, what happened to you? It's like, nothing attacked me. So that's the joke.
Yes.
But that wouldn't have been as impactful.
It wouldn't have made sense as much. It wouldn't have got the same reaction. It was kind of...
You know the way Odysseus throws the spear when he's leaving the island to like rage the beast?
Yes.
And then he runs after him, and that's what pisses off Poseidon.
The
arrow. Sorry,
into the eye.
In the book, he basically says like, oh, you fool, my name's Odysseus. Because obviously he can't see him.
Yeah.
Cyclops, but he says his name, and then that's how Poseidon finds out.
Okay.
But I think Nolan did a better job.
Wow.
Showing the way it was, you know what I mean?
And that, I feel like that was kind of like the second act of the movie, because it was kind of the first act. And what I thought was brilliant about it and about the whole first part of the movie was that it just seemed to set up the stakes perfectly. Because like you were saying, he had knowledge of the Iliad and the Odyssey and all the
Trojan horse,
the whole literature. I was going in completely blind. I didn't know what would happen. Odysseus could have died in the first 5 minutes for all I knew.
You don't know what happens at the end.
I was completely blind. But they just set up the stakes so perfectly, I thought, in that first act. You just knew like, okay, Odysseus is away. We don't know where he is. There's a battle for the kings, the suitors, and all this kind of stuff. It's setting it up
straight away.
And then it goes into that sort of second act with Odysseus, where he's kind of flashing back to things. And that Cyclops, my heart was in my mouth the whole time. How long was that? It was maybe 30 minutes of footage.
20-30 minutes of him going in and out of the cave, them getting killed 2 by 4
at a time,
and it's just like the tension's building. You're like, what's going to happen here? Is this going to get killed? You probably thought, like, you never know.
I didn't know, but I genuinely, like, I felt tension and I felt pressure in my chest and everything as I was watching that. And when he finally got free, like, I was just, and even we went to see it with Ryan, and he was like, "Bow it, boys, bow it."
I know, honest to God, like, what are they doing? Like,
like
looking up at the giant running by him, like, just fucking go.
Go. I was like, come on, will you?
But I was even thinking, I think he'd be so good for a horror movie now, Nolan. Like, he has his chops now after the Cyclops scene, and the scene with the witch on the mountain when they get turned into pigs. That was so fucking horrendous.
That was disgusting. And you know when she, like, starts molding their faces,
and you can see the dysmorphing of her. It's rotten.
And that's obviously in the book and all as well. What was her name?
I forget. Circe.
The great thing about him knowing is I've been able to ask for all the names of everyone since, because they've got mad names.
Like Telemachus.
Telemachus is Tom Holland.
Agamemnon is Agamemnon. I think I got it right.
Agamemnon.
That's the king. I never heard it.
His gear, the black gear,
where big mohawk,
standing there with after the gates of Troy were open.
When they get in the horse and open the gates of Troy, he's just standing there. Doesn't even move. Just stands there, and the soldiers run by him, and it's such an incredible shot.
Yeah, it's so cool. Just he looks so cool with
like,
the book.
His screen time.
I want.
Yeah, you want to like walk around like that. Yeah, he's the king.
Yeah,
but then he gets stabbed by his wife in the middle of the night.
His wife murders him, but he also fucking gave up their child. That's why.
Yeah, there's a lot of sacrifice.
And what was the sacrifice for? Why did he give up the child? What was the?
I think it was to become king. I think that was the thing. I think it was something to do with Hades. I actually don't know the whole story behind that. Like, but it's all about sacrifice. They went to Hades and there was the blood pool that sacrificed the sheep.
And Hades
to talk to the
purgatory. You were telling me
it's like hell essentially, but it's like they're stuck in this purgatory. And I assume that when they, like, let's say when you honor a body, like, remember he said you just go to the east something, or was it the east or the west something?
I don't know. Yeah, but the west of something, and yeah.
He has to, like, obviously honor their body. I think once they can then rest easy. But the amount of that Hades scene, the amount of soldiers that were just standing on the shoreline and he saw them on the boat.
Yes.
That's all Odysseus' fault, essentially.
Yeah.
Because obviously they went on their own behalf, but he was their leader.
It's all the shame of Odysseus looking at him with 1,000 faces.
1,000 faces, that's a great way to say it.
Yeah, but it was just, when they started running at him then, it reminded me of Game of Thrones where, the Night King would go and he'd raise everyone up.
They'd all come up out of the ground.
Out of the ground. There was a few similarities to Game of Thrones there, I suppose, but it was so good. And like I said with the names, thank God you were there to tell me what Hades even was. Because Hades was that beach you saw where they started coming up. And
the black sand
they were covering. They had to lick the blood or eat the blood to start talking to Odysseus.
I think Sinon was a good character. Like, I think Elliot Page's character only had like 5 minutes screen time, but it was so impactful. Even on the beach when the Trojan horse was first there, and she didn't know that, or he didn't know that they were inside the Trojan horse. Like, Odysseus had to lie to Sinon to, like, convince him to get them into Troy. Yeah, crazy. Like,
and the way, obviously he got stabbed in that first scene, and then it goes back and shows a scene from Matt Damon, Odysseus' perspective
inside the horse,
and you see the knife coming
right beside his head,
and you hear the best part was when they were actually in Troy, I thought, and he stabbed your man from the top to kind of check.
And they had to, like, cover his mouth.
And just as the sword went out, Odysseus got his fingers and wiped the blood off it just as it was sliding out.
I didn't even notice that.
Did you not notice that?
I didn't see that, no.
Yeah, so, like, he got stabbed, and just as the sword, he just put his 2 fingers and slid the blood off.
They'd know they're inside.
There was blood on the end of the sword.
Missed that. Shit.
But it was so cool. And I didn't know that. I thought that was a real story, actually, the Trojan horse.
No.
In Troy. I only found out last night from him that was a myth.
Like, there definitely was a war in Troy back in, like, however many years ago it was. But the Trojan horse is just, like, an elaborate story. They probably did, like, raid the walls, but they probably made it sound cooler.
But the Trojan horse came from Homer in the Odyssey, didn't it?
Yeah.
He wrote the Trojan horse. Yeah. So we learned about the Trojan horse in primary school. We went to the same primary school. Do you remember we used to learn about it?
That was history for us. Like, history meant to be, like, factual.
That's why I thought it was real.
Yeah.
Because we did it in history in primary school, and we learned about the Trojan horse. And now, fast forward 20 years, you're here telling me that
it's not real.
It's not real.
You were lied to.
It's like finding out Santa Claus wasn't real.
I know.
Especially after I saw the movie last night, and I was like, these Greeks knew what they were at 3,000 years ago. But
a perfectly crafted Trojan horse on the beach, all them inside it.
Soldiers just dying inside, drowning, shitting on each other, pissing on each other.
That's like, that didn't really show it that well, but like you could just imagine like the mental picture of them being inside there for 3 days and all of the shit going on in there. Like,
the only thing that really helped ram it down for me was when Matt Damon got out and he like couldn't get his legs.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
And I was like, pure, makes like, sense. Yeah,
he couldn't be walking around normally after.
He's been crammed into a little hole for the last little while. But
I think we can talk about Matt Damon as Odysseus. I think he did an unbelievable job.
I was thinking about this last night. So we went to see it in Rathmines, just a couple of minutes down the road here in Dublin, and it was the best cinema I've been to.
Yeah, it's an amazing cinema.
Matt Damon, that was his magnum opus, I think. Like, Will Hunting was great. He was smart. He could do the maths on the board when he was sweeping the floors. He was romantic. No. Charming. Working on his romance.
Yeah.
But Odysseus.
Oh, it's just amazing. I think we could see the whole development, deterioration, all his flaws through the 3 hours. Like, it just perfectly encapsulates it for everything that the character is and how strong he is and why he's so strong. It's not just because he's like a heroic figure that has no reason to be that way. Just because he's Odysseus, it actually showed why he's that way and all the struggle he had to get through to get back to Ithaca. Like, it was crazy.
The burdens he carries, the flaws he has, the imperfections in his decision making, and the constant sort of self-assessment.
Sacrifices, even like he had to make sacrifices that he didn't know at the time. Remember, he was in Haiti talking with that fella saying like, "Oh, these soldiers are going to die."
Yes,
but there was things happening before that he wasn't aware of. That people had to die in order for him to get back to save it again.
Yeah. And small things where they brought the mythology into it, especially when they were doing the sailing, about Poseidon's ocean and Zeus's sky, and you piss off the gods, and they will piss you off. They'll punish you back, and how they lull them into that calm of, oh, the sea is calm now. Look at it. And then, of course,
the second they go out, it's just
Poseidon's ocean started acting up, and Zeus's sky decided to get a bit bold. Started going meddling in affairs.
Another character that's a god, Athena. You weren't the happiest with the casting.
Yes. Okay. So the one thing, and like you were saying at the start there about how going into it with high expectations.
Yeah.
I was obviously trying to calm my expectations a little bit because you don't want to be disappointed because this is so big. I didn't think I would be disappointed, and I wasn't at all.
Yeah.
But I said to you, the only pet peeve, if I was to think of one, specifically thinking of one to say on this podcast, just to have something, was Zendaya. I think she was the one star too many for me. Because we watched 2 trailers right before that movie.
She was in both.
We watched the trailer for Dune 3, and she was a large part of that trailer. And she was there with the hood up, similar to her character in the Odyssey, Athena. And then next trailer was this new Spider-Man, mostly Tom Holland, but
she's pivotal as well.
She was probably the second most screen time in that trailer. So Zendaya, fine. And then, we start the movie, and then next thing, Athena comes out, and it's Zendaya in a robe again. And I just thought, oh, fuck off. Like, you're just shoehorning her into every role when there is so many other brilliant actresses out there that aren't getting these roles. That small role of Athena, very important role, huge role, but small in terms of screen time, small in terms of what she needed to say. That could have launched so many actresses' careers, and especially being involved with so many stars. It didn't need that many stars. It's a movie, I think, that sold itself. It's the fucking Odyssey. It's Christopher Nolan. And there's always going to be a few stars in England.
Yeah.
So someone like Travis Scott, I was completely fine with.
Because his scenes weren't that important.
Not that, but he was that one, the way Nolan always
he always was a music artist. He had Harry Styles and Dunkirk, David Bowie and Prestige.
Yeah.
There's a few more. Probably
there you go.
I don't know.
So I'm fine with that because he does that. Zendaya felt like just another actress. I think she's monopolizing all the women's roles. That's what I think. I think she's taken all the roles, and some of them should be given to more up-and-coming actresses. Why was she's in fucking everything? There was no need for her to be a teen. I kind of
disagree with that. I was saying to you last night about it, how obviously Nolan is probably the best director at the moment. He is the top guy in Hollywood. He really is, isn't he?
Yeah.
And the stars come to him rather than he picks the star. Like, he can cast whoever he wants in a role. Realistically, you were saying her screen time wasn't that big, but every actor, like bar obviously the main people, didn't have much screen time. Like the main guys. Think about like Sinon, like that wasn't much screen time.
No.
Agamemnon wasn't much screen time.
Agamemnon is the king.
Yeah, but he was impactful. You know what I mean? I think Nolan, like, usually he perfectly casts, and I
Yeah.
think it was a good casting. As in,
Oh, I think he perfectly casted everyone. I think Zendaya was just one too much.
I
Why
don't
did it
know.
have to be Zendaya? Why did it have
Well,
to?
if it was, you said it was a lower up and coming actor,
Yeah,
right? That wouldn't
actress.
be as impactful for a 4 minute scene, I don't think. Like it wouldn't give them. You're saying the elevation to go to a big role.
Yeah.
Like think about like Elliot Page when she was in like Inception. She wasn't like as big. She was in Juno before that, to be
Mhm.
fair. But like she had a lot of screen time, which gave her like she was able to get dialogue out and act. But like there wasn't enough acting there for a smaller role. You needed to have a big star in them roles, I think, just to have a more impactful impact on the screen, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. It's more of a pet peeve. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna.
that's
I'm
fair
not gonna
enough.
say it's a critique of the film because she performs. She does her job great. She's actually great at Tina, 100%. I just have that pet peeve of
She's in everything.
she's in fucking everything. It was the fact that I seen her in a trailer dressed the exact same, you know, right before the movie started and doing with the robe over, and then again in the next fucking trailer for Spider-Man, and then within the first 10 minutes, she comes in with a robe, and there's Zendaya again. I'm just like, fuck off! Like, there's so many beautiful women that I want to. We were talking about that translator from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you wanted her.
Where the fuck is she gone? What's her name? Kashande.
Yeah, maybe her acting isn't as good as
maybe her acting isn't as good, but
maybe she auditioned. You never know.
yeah, maybe she did. She's the top. Okay, so Natalie Emmanuel. Whoa, what happened to her? That doesn't suit her. That hair.
She's an actor. Like actors.
Yeah, no, that's
you
true.
were in love with the character, not the actor.
Okay, maybe. Let's just see what she's been at. Yeah, she's 37 now. Okay, I don't know what Zendaya is.
She's in Hollyoaks. That's quite cool.
Oh, okay.
That's where she got her start.
Wait.
No, just go here.
Yeah, cool.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
She's in the Fast and Furious movie. That's quite big.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know? Did you watch the movies?
No, I haven't.
Oh wait, that's her there. Definitely. It's that Holly slept over.
Yeah.
Holly's
in that mega.
That looks like a trash rom-com.
She's just picking bad roles. Like she was never getting that role, or
no, she was never getting Athena. Oh, look, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board and think of all these fucking beautiful actresses that could have been Athena.
Okay.
Zendaya is a beautiful actress as well, but I'm bored of her.
Let's move on to someone else. Yeah. I think Robert Pattinson as Antonius was so good. What a villain.
Antonius, yeah.
I think it's Antonius. Antonius, or Antonius, or I think it's Antonius.
Okay.
I can't remember. Anyway, so good.
He was a smarmy prick, wasn't he?
So good.
He made you hate him.
Even as the child actor who had that wasn't Robert Pattinson, but even he had no words. The way he was kind of really slimy, and he handed off the black little thing to Sin on to go to war. Like that was just so slimy.
He's a slimy little bastard.
He was so good.
He was brilliant. He really, really was brilliant. Were you saying there was some people, or Ryan was saying some people were on about it being his best role? But it's probably just he didn't have enough screen time. Really, I think
his acting was so good in it though.
Yeah,
like it really for what he was on screen for when he was just in Ithaca. I think that was just so good.
Yeah,
and even he was getting lads to go to like Troy and try and kill Telemachus. He still stayed where he was, but he was just so good at just directing all the fucking madness going around the place. He just had that, I don't know, it was aura for a villain aura.
Very good. I think Anne Hathaway might have been the best performance nearly.
She was unbelievable.
She was, I think, when she was crying in that scene where Odysseus was talking about how he was going to leave, I was like, this is fucking unbelievable acting. Yeah. She was just so good.
And even the scene where
I think she might have been the best
role.
I think Anne Hathaway.
The scene where he's trying to, or Telemachus is trying to convince her to remarry. And she at the very end, she has this kind of scream of no,
I want Odysseus.
Yeah, I want Odysseus. Some shit. And it was just kind of whoa.
Yeah,
scares you.
Do you know the scene where Odysseus is the beggar? Of course, you know the scene, but he's talking to her again, and he's got the hood up, and he's not showing his face.
Yeah.
Where do you think she realized that was Odysseus? Because she knew it was Odysseus because she set up that trial knowing that was Odysseus.
I think it was the weapons. He said, "Don't bring any weapons," and then she got the hint that to get the bow because nobody else can string.
Did he say that to her? Did he say? I think he said that to to Telemachus. He said, "Don't bring any."
Maybe
because he was like, "No, this is me. I'll have a weapon."
But there was definitely a moment there where her mind was like, "Oh, this could be Odysseus," but she still was unsure until it actually got strong.
Because they started talking about the brooch.
Yeah.
And he was describing it perfectly, and he never took it off. I think
that's probably the moment. Then.
Yeah, maybe around then, and just after that, you seen her starting to cry. And all
but then again, a soldier at war could have been told the story by Odysseus. So then she still was unsure, but she still had belief that it could be him.
He also did actually say Odysseus is still alive.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Maybe that could have been it. That probably was it when he was like, Odysseus is still alive.
Yeah, maybe.
And then she was like, okay, well, what beggar would be able to get a fucking word with me if it wasn't a fucking king?
That whole final act, though, was unbelievable. Even I think it starts for me.
So good.
For me, it starts when he obviously he comes back to Ithaca with Telemachus. But then the scene where he's the beggar begging for food, and then Antonius and the other fella are roast him as a beggar,
Mhm.
and then like he starts walking away, and he throws the chair at him. And they're like, "Oh, you're breaking Zeus's law."
Yes.
And he goes, "What do you think? He's a god in disguise? He's just some filthy beggar."
Yeah.
And then it's like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Sinon," and he gives him the fucking black thing as well.
Yeah, give him back the thing, and he freaked out then.
That was the start of the act. I think it's just from there, it just elevated.
And there was two sort of second in commands then. Robert Pattinson's second in command. What was his name?
I can't remember his name.
Where, you know, he turned around and said, "You're Odysseus," and got an arrow on the neck.
He was like, "You're Odysseus," and just boom.
Another great character, but you were also talking about Odysseus' second in command.
Hamish Patel's character. It's Eucalais or something. I forget the name now. It's something like that. Mm-hmm. But he was brilliant. He's probably one of the most screen time in the whole movie because he's by Odysseus' side the entire time.
He actually does. Yeah, he's
a brilliant character. I think. Yes, it kind of keeps Odysseus' head in the game. Like whenever Odysseus is like, "We'll do this," and he goes, "No." Like all us soldiers are against that. You can't do that. You got to keep your level head here.
He was the one to reason with Odysseus
100%.
and kind of find middle ground
to a level. Yeah.
Yeah. John Bernthal character. His character. What was his name? Married to Helen of Troy, correct?
Yes. Yeah. He's married to Maros or Malos or something. I can forget the name now.
He was really cool. He was so cool.
The bald head and the beard really suited him.
Oh, it really did, didn't it?
It did.
And what I thought Christopher Nolan did so brilliantly was how he tied the timeline, the way he skipped and jumped and skipped.
The flashbacks coming back and forth. It was just perfect.
Flashbacks back, yeah, exactly. You go from a flashback back to real life, you skip to another scene, which you go back to another flashback. Yeah. It made so much sense. It was so easily digestible. Like, as someone who's used to kind of Tarantino films and stuff like that, where I'm used to that time skip, this was one that like I know anyone could watch and completely understand, no problem.
Yeah.
No, unlike say Pulp Fiction, for example, which can confuse people when they first watch it.
I think it's very accessible. What about Telemachus, Tom Holland?
Yeah.
What do you think?
So, like I was saying at the start, I was saying to you last night, for the first 10 minutes of the movie, I felt the same way about Tom Holland as I did Zendaya.
But then he grew on you.
He grew on me. I was like Tom Holland and Zendaya again. Because similar to the trailers with Zendaya, the trailer also had, the Spider-Man one also had Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And it's Tom Holland and Zendaya. They're a real life couple. And then you see them both in prominent roles within the first 10 minutes of the movie. And that was just like, just enough of Tom Holland and Zendaya. Like, enough of them. They're just, I'm sick of them, man. Anyways, that rhetoric, that my opinion on Zendaya didn't change. But the more I saw Tom Holland, I was like, he's really good at this.
I think he was fucking perfect, because I think the whole Telemachus thing is he's meant to be kind of boyish because he is like trying to become king, but he still has so much flaws and
Tom Holland suits that boyishness.
That's what I mean. He's obviously older than he looks, but he just has that like like childish face. But then you can see him like kind of growing in confidence as the movie goes on and kind of learning off his father. It's just so like he was so good in it, wasn't he? That's definitely his best role I've seen him in.
There's so many like I think it's Anne Hathaway's best role. I think
Interstellar is pretty good.
What she was the Dark Knight Rises. What was it? She looked unbelievable in it. She was a vixen.
Oh yes. Yeah.
She looked great in that. Yeah. That was her best looking role.
Okay. Princess Diaries.
I haven't seen that one. I think that was Anne Hathaway's best role. I couldn't believe how good she was. Matt Damon's fucking magnum opus. That is the movie that people will remember Matt Damon by.
I think so.
When he's long gone.
And he has so many, but that's the one that peaks.
That's going to be the one. He's 55, and look at the fucking shape he was in.
He was definitely juicing, but you gotta respect that.
Yeah, you do the same, like, of course. But who else? Matt Damon. You could, as I said, people are saying it's Robert Pattinson's best role. John Bernthal, one of his best characters.
Who else? Slow speaking.
Look, it was Travis Scott's best role by far.
I think his role in that movie was actually just perfect.
It was.
Like when I saw the trailer, and he's like, "Oh, this is so bad."
He was the first person you saw.
First opening scene, like I actually kind of laughed. I was like, "Oh, this is insane." But to be fair, all he was doing was like chanting, and like it was perfect.
Yeah.
He kind of has that like the cadence in his voice for that sort of like top of the room chant, and everyone's kind of involved, and then he just walks off, and then
he was kind of like a crier or something, was he?
Some sort of like a preacher or some shit. I don't know.
It was kind of like the hear ye, like everyone listen.
This is the story of
Order in the Core.
Yeah, kind of like that. Cool though, so cool.
Just everything about it. The ending was perfect. It ended perfectly. It's just a classic story. When he's dying in her arms.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
that was actually very funny.
He's like, "Don't die," and he's like, Die?
No, he's like, I came back to see Ithaca one more time. She's like, no, you can't
You
leave.
can't die.
You can't leave me now. And he goes, no, we're going away.
We're jetting off, babe. We're getting on a Jet 2 holiday. We're going to Benidorm and we're staying there and we're forgetting this life. And she was like, oh, all right, I thought you were going to die. Like, so he looked like he was going to die.
He was kind of fading away and he just perks up straight away. He goes, no, what are you on about?
Die? What? Why would I do that?
He's like four arrows in his body. Like
one in his neck as well.
That was a cool fight scene where he's like fighting off everybody and then he pins down Antinous.
Yes.
So good.
Like I was saying to you as well, plot armor is something I usually have a problem with. You know, where one guy just seems invincible and inhuman compared to everyone else. People are dying with one strike, you know, bang, and he's dead.
Yeah.
Whereas the one guy is taking 4 fucking arrows to the body and he's still surviving. That usually pisses me off. But he's Odysseus. It worked. It just
worked so well.
It fucking worked for the Odyssey, for Homer's story. I don't know. I was completely fine with there being plot armor. Like,
actually, I'm gonna go back to a scene we didn't talk about, the sirens. I know it was only like a 5-minute scene, but who was saying? Ryan was saying actually a good point. Like in Pirates of the Caribbean, these are sirens as well, but it's a bit too much. Like you know what the sirens are, like they're gonna start singing and everyone's like, oh my god. But the way they did it, where you couldn't even hear the sirens, you just like he gets tied.
The wax in the ear.
Put the wax in the ear, and he just ties himself to the what do we call it? The rudder, the mast or something. And he just wasn't here. You can see his face like going through all the emotions. That was hard to watch.
It was like an exorcism.
You couldn't even hear no, you just heard like a white noise nearly. And you see his face going through, and what he's saying is like it itches the itch you can't get to.
Yes.
And then like if you go through like the happiest, then you just everything collapses.
Yes.
It's the way it was described, like was just it was written so perfectly.
It makes you want what you most can't have, and what you most can't have is what you already had but have lost. Something like that.
It's just something that sounds like you're on like heroin or some shit. You know what I mean? Like
it looked like an exorcism. And when the guy took the earwax out of his ears out of curiosity to hear what it was like, and then he started going mad, jumps into the water.
Try and hold it back, but they can't. We're forgetting about the Calypso scene on the island. You know the way he's on the island for 7 years with Calypso, and he forgets everything. That was crazy.
Yeah, as I said, I don't know much about that.
So she's like a nymph. She's like a how do you describe it? It's kind of just like this like magical, mystical thing, like woman who like lures you in exactly. But she like tends to him, and then she obviously falls in love with him and keeps him there and keeps him on the
eating the lotus,
trying to keep his mind like or his body. Sorry, his body like calm. He forgets everything. But then she said that like your mind is still always thinking about home, even though he was completely blocked out. He still had like in the back of his subconscious home, and eventually she had to give in. But they didn't actually say this or show it in the movie. But like Athena convinces Calypso to like let him go because it's for the greater good to go back to Ithaca.
Okay.
Yeah, but that wasn't shown in the movie. But she kind of accepts her fate nearly.
Okay.
But she does through Athena is the way it's meant to be done. But it just didn't.
In the movie, it just showed.
But it still was really good to see. Like it was cool. Like
she handed him back the brooch. Was that right, or did he?
Yeah, because he when he first got to the island, he wouldn't let go of it for 3 weeks in his sleep or whatever. He was passed out, and then she was like, "Here, this is yours." And then when he second got that, it all came back to him, didn't it?
Yeah. That was a really good scene. Yeah. You kind of had sort of like you were kind of filling me in a little bit. You kind of told me like not much,
just like the character beforehand, just so you kind of know who's who before you.
But obviously, you didn't know what he was going to show either. You didn't know how he was going to condense it, so you were just kind of saying how you were like hoping maybe he throws back to the Battle of Troy, which was in the Iliad.
And he did that then.
He did it.
It was a perfect throwback scene.
And I actually clocked that as well. I was like, this is kind of the throwback that Sean was looking for, wasn't it?
Just perfect, like.
That was class. So that was in the Iliad.
Yeah.
The Battle of
Troy. Yeah.
But it obviously is essential for the story of Odysseus.
Because like breaking into Troy, like basically started the whole journey of how he got lost from his soldiers. Yeah. That's where, like square one, that's where it started off. And then the Odyssey is just a journey back home, essentially. So, just perfect.